about a Fury of Lewis's attack.
What's happening, my friends? It's Cass Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Miss Cass, Al Booger, Trump, Mrs. Just Do. Salute to everyone. And welcome to another episode of Cass Sports, the Box Storia. Today, women's boxing. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Story, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it and can't get enough of it. How's everyone doing on this Tuesday afternoon edition of Cass Sports, the Box Story? Still early in the week. Good to see Mrs. Just Do in the building today. How are you, Mrs. Just Do? Peace and love right back to you, to the entire Just Do family. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about women in boxing. Okay, you see Layla Ali, Clarissa Shields up there. That would have been a good dream fight at 168. in the women's sport. Hard to call that one, would have been a good fight. Layla had that pop. Layla was 24 and finished her career 24-0 with 21 knockouts. That's an excellent knockout for women's boxing. That's a knockout rate of 87%, almost 90%. Whereas the GOAT, so, the GOAT has a knockout rate of about 20%, something like that. So it would be clear how the fight would go. Layla probably would be bringing that pressure, trying to get the GOAT up out of there, and the GOAT would probably be boxing. Although, in heavyweight, the GOAT showed some power in her last fight. What was it, the second or third round when she got the lady out of there she was fighting? So, probably depends on what weight, But a very good dream fight. I should have included that in my dream fights last week when I did it. Layla Ali and the GOAT, Claressa Shields. They were beefing at one time, but one time they were pretty good friends, So, yeah. But never got that one. Layla was, had never beaten in her career. Had a close call against Joe Frazier's daughter, though. Got a majority decision. One judge called it a draw. That was Ali Frazier 4. And that fight was right on the anniversary of their father's first fight. 30th anniversary. The fathers fought on March 8th, 1971. June 8th, 1971. And the daughters fought on June 8th, 2001. And they were the first women to ever headline a pay-per-view card. Layla Ali and Jackie Frazier lied. Now, the GOAT, she was on the card, the first woman to head all women's pay-per-view, okay? Ali and Frazier had some men's fights on their card. They were the first women to headline a pay-per-view card. But the GOAT, I forgot who she was fighting. She was part of the first pay-per-view to headline an all women's card. Yeah, that's the distinction. But both great. Layla in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. The GOAT could retire today or tomorrow. She's had a Hall of Fame career. Not just the first woman, the first boxer, period, to win 4-belt undisputed in 2 weight classes, the GOAT. Yep. Now, she wasn't the first woman to win the first 4-belt undisputed. That was Cecilia Brækhus from Sweden. We're going to talk about her today, too. We're going to have to talk about some former fighters, some of the top former women's fighters, and then I got like kind of like a pound for pound list of the top 10 women today, and we're going to go over some significant events that occurred over the years in women's boxing. We're going to go over like 5 of the top women's fights of all time. Yeah, pretty good. Got a good one for you today. We always wait until 2:30 to get some more people here. But let's preview the week though. Of course, what was yesterday was the Bolo punch of the week was the Bolo punch and the corkscrew punch. Today is women in boxing. Tomorrow is the show that always take a suggestion from the chat. And tomorrow's show will be brought to you by Al Booger. And it's going to be some top fighters, top contenders that never won a title. Some of those fighters, when their career ends, and you look back and kind of shocked when you say that guy didn't win, or that guy or lady didn't win a title. Kind of like we were saying yesterday, Gabe Rosado. Although he did get a title late in his career, but he still fit the bill. And Ernie Shavers, Jerry Cooney never got a title. Yep. But they fought in the heavyweight, the golden era of heavyweights. Any other era of heavyweights, both of them, Ernie Shavers and Jerry Cooney, would have no doubt been champions. But they fought in the 70s, man, the golden era. A whole bunch of them in that era didn't get titles that would have clearly had some in other eras. But, Ali, Frazier, Foreman, Holmes came through, Norton. That era was just loaded. That was the era where we had the WBC had 4 heavyweight champions in 4 months, 4 different ones in 4 months. Yeah, just crazy. And not just the heavyweights, the 70s was just loaded in all the weight classes, man. You can look at all the weight classes, and just about every champion is in the International Boxing Hall of Fame, you know. Roberto Duran, Esteban de Jesus, Salvador Sanchez, Wilfredo Gomez, all those guys were back in the 70s. Who will ever forget the hands of Stone Roberto Duran? Had 72 fights in the 70s, went 71-1. Okay? And he lost to Esteban de Jesus. They had a trilogy. Roberto won the last two. Yeah, he just went through those 70s like crazy. Kind of like Manny went through from the 2001 to 2010. And I never, Roberto would have to be the fighter of that decade, but you know, there was so many great heavyweights. I don't even think they had a fighter for that decade. It could have been so many of them. And yeah, women's boxing today, though. And we've had some great women's boxers over the years. The women's boxing right now is the most popular as it's ever been. And they're getting paid, you know, the most money they've ever made right now. And we got some women's fights now going 3-minute rounds instead of 2 minutes. We've got some women's championship fights that's going 12 rounds instead of 10. So a lot of progress has been made, you know, over the years in the women's game, you know. And, you know, we got boxers like Clarissa Shields, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, a few others. That's household names. Even the casuals know them. You know, like today, I got a pound for pound list. 5 years ago, I couldn't even name 10 women's boxers. You know, that's just how popular the sport has become over the years, you know. And it was only a little over 10 years ago, 2012, when they first started fighting in the Olympics. That's not that long. Yeah, 2012 was the first year where women boxing was included in the Olympics. Yeah, a little over 10 years ago, 12 years. So, and in those 12 years, women's boxing has come a long way, you know. Look at, I think, 2022, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor headlined the first time two women headlined the card at the Garden, Madison Square Garden. That's 2 years ago. Yeah, 2022. Who will ever forget that fight? I thought Amanda won it, but you know, they gave the nod to Katie. You couldn't be mad because it was a very good fight between those two women. And those are two of the greatest women of all time. Both have had Hall of Fame careers. Amanda has won titles in 7 weight classes. Yeah, that 8 Manny got ain't safe because Manny's retired. Amanda's still active, so one more weight class and she's tied that. You know, I think Amanda, I don't think she's been past featherweight. I'm not sure. I know she holds 3 belts at featherweight now. She gave up the WBC because they wouldn't sanction the 12 3-minute round fights for women. So Amanda gave that belt up, you know. And yeah, Jake Paul has been good for women's boxing. You know, he's getting them 3-minute rounds. He had a prospect fight on one of his last cards, and it was 4 rounds, but it was 3 minutes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the women deserve 3 minutes. I don't even understand the reasoning for the 2 minutes, you know, because it's just too short. You know, you get in there and that first minute goes by and then it's all downhill. You only got 1 minute left, you know. You got to come in with a whole different strategy. You don't have that middle minute like the men do, you know. Just 2 minutes and those rounds go by fast. But there was Jake Paul. He's getting under 3 minutes. Yep. So yeah, women's boxing today. And how's everybody doing? It's Tuesday, still early in the week. Just getting started off with a brand new week of boxing history. The Cash Sports the Box story. Yep. Oh yeah, and then Thursday, I was previewing the weekend. I stopped at Wednesday. Yeah, tomorrow is going to be some top contenders or just good boxers that never won a title. Like I said, the kind of fighter retire and look at his career and you be kind of surprised. So that guy didn't have a title? What? And then Thursday, the Boxing in the State series continues this week with Georgia. Okay. And Georgia's got a pretty good boxing history. I didn't know that. Savannah, Georgia used to be a good, big boxing town, man. And they got this club down there called the Augusta Boxing Club, works with disadvantaged youth, promote all kinds of activities for them, boxing and other things. Here, the Augusta Boxing Club. And we're going to talk about some boxers from Georgia. Sugar Ray Robinson was born in Alley, Georgia. Okay. I mean, by the time his boxing career got up off the ground, he was I think he played out of New York and Detroit, but he was born in Alley, Georgia. So I might include him in boxers from Georgia, New York, and Detroit, Michigan. Sugar Ray was that good. And then Friday is going to be the profile this week is the life and career of Ike Williams. So like I was telling you yesterday, the Mafia kind of held his career back because, he wouldn't buckle under to their demands. And around that time, 40s, 50s, they ran boxing and, they controlled who got the title fights and they controlled who won them. And Ike didn't buckle under to him. So they kind of like held him back. A very good fighter, but he didn't get all the accolades he could have because of the Mafia, And Sugar Ray Robinson didn't buckle under to him, but Sugar Ray got away with it. They didn't bother him. But Ike couldn't do it. And he's going to be his life and career Friday. Ike Williams. Yep. Another big week of boxing history on Cash Sports. And I ran out of punches. I did the jab, the hook, the uppercut combination, overhand, bolo punch, the corkscrew punch. We'll come up with something, though. Something good on Mondays. Yeah. But that's what we do here at Cash Sports, boxing history, all other aspects of the sport, because when you see the 2 men or 2 women in the ring, that's just the end result. It's a whole lot goes into a fight other than that. And one time I was going to do a show on everything that goes into making a fight from a promoter's point of view. It was so much I gave up. I honestly don't understand how a promoter makes money, man. There's so much that goes into making a boxing match. From the venue and all the other people associated with it, the vendors, everything, the doctor, judges, referee. You got to pay off the fighters. Of course, the fighter is responsible for his team and everything, But yeah, a whole lot goes into it. And me and Old School gonna get another show coming up on Muhammad Ali. Yeah, the Gazelle Punch. Oh, that's right, Albert. I'm gonna have to look into that. The Gazelle Punch. Yeah. Thank you. It's all about that. So that's another one that'll have to be this Monday coming up. The Gazelle Punch. But yeah, me and Old School we're gonna do something on Muhammad Ali. Yeah, I know it's got so much on Muhammad that I probably don't even really need no notes. But when Old School is free, maybe next Monday. Yeah, Old School has got a lot of boxing history knowledge. We got to tap into that. Yeah, so he's like a part-time co-host on Cash Sports. I ain't trying to get sued by the Angry White Men podcast for tampering, but it's all JBT, so it's cool. Yeah, looking at the Gazelle Punch right now, Al Booger. I forgot all about that. Yeah, it is a punch. Technique, evident, all of that stuff. Yeah, that's money. As a leaping jab hook. Yeah. Okay. Look at the Gazelle Punch Monday. Some of the practitioners of it. Yeah. And Muhammad Ali actually had a fight where Angelo Dundee wasn't in his corner. Oh, Tank used that punch in a fight, got a beautiful knockdown from it. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. But yeah, I think it was Jimmy Ellis. Jimmy Ellis, I believe, is from Louisville, and Angelo Dundee trained him and Ali. And for this fight, Angelo chose to be in Jimmy Ellis's corner because he was Ali's trainer, but he was Jimmy Ellis's trainer and manager, and you got a bigger share of a boxer's purse being manager. So, of course, Angelo chose to be in Jimmy Ellis's corner for that fight. And I forgot who Ali. He went back to Ali after that fight, but I forgot who Ali got for that fight. It was somebody, Henry somebody. And yeah, I'm gonna have it by the time me and O get that show. Yeah, that was a pretty interesting story. Yeah, actually, we had Angelo was in the other corner. Of course, Ali won. That was after he was just coming back from the suspension. I think that was for the North American Boxing Federation title, I believe. Yeah, minor title back in the day. It wasn't that minor back then, you know. At ABF, I guess it's still around. Yeah, but Ali won that from Jimmy Ellis on the fight where Angelo was in Jimmy Ellis's corner. We're gonna get started in about 5 minutes. 2 cards this weekend. Virgil Ortiz fighting for a title. Bohachuk, junior middleweight. I think it's a WBC. One of Mel's old titles. Does Mel have any titles left? I heard something recently about him and both Charlo brothers are back in training, preparing to get back in there. Yeah, both of them. I still want to see Mel and Tim Tszyu, you know. That was the first title he got stripped when he went up before Canelo. Remember, the WBO stripped it and gave it to Tszyu. I was hoping Mel would come right back down immediately, and that would be his next fight for that WBO. But you know, he haven't fought since the Canelo fight. But yeah, I wanted to see that, or Mel and Bud, or Bud and Virgil. That would be a good one. Turkey Ali Sheik says he wants it, and it's be lined up because Bud and Virgil are fighting a week apart. So yeah, it could be each other's next opponent. You know, it's all lined up for it. So, and then Abdullah Mason, that killer, is back in the ring on the 17th. Not this weekend, the one after this one. Yeah, Abdullah, he's on the Christian and Billy, Sergey Derevyanchenko card. Yeah, and you know, I think Abdullah, what did he have, like 9 fights? I've seen it like 6 or 7 of his fights, and I've never seen him get somebody in trouble without getting them out of there. You know, he's like a shark with blood in the water. When he gets you in trouble, it's a wrap. Abdullah does not play with his food. And him, he got 4 brothers, there's 5 of them. And the dad trains all of them. I think Mike Mazik, what's up, Mike? Mike Mazik in the building. NBN Boxing News. Women in boxing today, gentlemen. We talk every now and then, you know, do a women's show. It's only fair, you know. They go in there and put it all on the line for our entertainment too. And the women want all the smoke, you know. I mean, when women fighting, there's always unification, undisputed, always something, man, because women just don't, now unlike the men, women just don't want to share their titles with other ones. You come in a woman's division with a belt, they want that, you know. The women want the smoke, man. Yeah. Yes, they do. What happened to Savannah Marshall? She hadn't fought since she took the undisputed from Franchon, remember? I thought she was supposed to fight Franchon after Franchon beat Shadeja, remember last year. Savannah was a champion in recess, and Franchon won the interim WBC, so Savannah was supposed to take the winner because that champion in recess only lasts for so long. It's been over a year for Savannah now, so what's up? Yeah, fought since then. But salute to Mike Mazik and NBN Boxing News in the building. Yes. And yeah. It's Savannah. I don't know what she's doing, but she hadn't been in the ring in over a year. Franchon, I don't think she's fought since the Shadeja fight. Shadeja was in there a few weeks ago. But boxing is in good shape. We got the rematch of the heavyweights later this year. Some good stuff coming up in the fall. Earl and Fundora is in there. What is that, like October? Can't remember the exact date. D for the win in the building. What's up, D for the win? We're going to start in about 5 minutes talking about women in boxing today. Yeah. Little timeline of some significant events that happened over the years in women's boxing. I got like 5 of the biggest women's fights of all time. Like that one, the undisputed between the GOAT and Savannah Marshall, and remember Katie Taylor and Savannah and Serrano. Amanda Serrano was the first women's fight to headline a card in the Garden. Got that one. got Katie Taylor and Chantel Cameron. You know, those two fights they had, man, that had trilogy written all over it. Chantel won the first one by majority decision. Katie won the second one by majority decision. Two very close nail biters. They both each other's only loss. That was a trilogy waiting to happen, but we never got it. You know, two fights like that, man. They was supposed to have that trilogy. You know, both each other's only loss, two majority decisions. You know, one judge had a draw in both fights, the other two very close. And then they just let it go at that. That was just crazy. For undisputed both times. I just don't understand that, man. But Katie was supposed to rematch Amanda, but that never happened. So yeah, boxing is like that, man, you know. But we still getting good fights. Got the fall schedule coming up. We had a face of boxing back in there, and it's supposed to be Loma in November, but Loma wasn't in the mood, so whatever that means. And Shakur's in the mood. We're tanking Shakur in there in November. Shakur's in the mood for it. Oh yeah, I don't think Shakur running for no smoke. We know who it won't be. It won't be Pitbull. Pitbull blew his second Tank audition. He blew the first one. I can never remember the guy's name. Remember last year? Giovanni, was it Cabrera? Pitbull was getting the Tank audition and had a bad performance in that one. He eked that one out though, but then this time he got beat. And shout out to Robert Garcia, man. The trainers make a difference. That game plan they had. Rayo had to go in there and execute it, but it was a perfect game plan for beating a fighter like Pitbull, man. You know, they can move, and Rayo was in excellent condition. He did it for the entire 12 rounds. You see Pitbull try to cheat and hit him in the hip and slow him down. And it looked like Rayo slowed down slightly, but Rayo got some pop too. He wasn't just sticking and moving; he was stinging Pitbull too. That's an excellent fight, man. When I heard that one judge say, when that one ring announcer said that one judge said, Pitbull, I got worried. You know, the first thing came to mind was that Oshaki and Kasasia fight. And I was like, oh no, they're not going to do it again. But fortunately, two of the judges got it right. I don't know what fight that judge was watching the gate to fight the Pitbull. I do not know what he was doing. He must have been in the bathroom for most of the fight or something. You know, he couldn't have been there because they sit right there on the ring, touching the ring, right there at the ropes. How could he give that fight to Pitbull? That's not incompetence. That's corruption. Okay. I guess the other two judges, it was so clearly Rayo, they couldn't do it, you know. But that one said, I want my envelope. I gave it to Pitbull. So I don't care if the other two gave it to Rayo. I did my part. I want my envelope, you know. And he deserves it because he definitely did his part. Pitbull didn't come anywhere near winning that fight. But I was worried for Rayo. I thought they was going to steal it, man. And he put in a great performance. Great card altogether, you know. Bud Majimo was good. I watched it again yesterday. Bud won. Yeah. It was a good competitive fight, but yeah, Bud won it, you know. Yeah. I was saying before that Majimo posted up, but no. Bud won it. Very good. But Majimo did a good job, man. Only 10 fights going up against the pound for pound number one, and look at the job he did. But he had 300 and some amateur fights. That makes a difference, you know. Yeah, that's how those Eastern Europeans do it, though, man. You know? Yeah. And Majimo will be a problem at 154, man. Yes, he will. He's going to be a problem. But let's get ready to talk about women in boxing. How did it get 2:30 already? Wow. I've only been on here 5 minutes. Okay. Women in boxing today. How's everybody? It's still early in the week. Got a whole week of boxing history in front of us. Tomorrow's show is brought to you by Al Booker, and it's going to be some top fighters, top contenders that never won a title. Some of the fighters after their career, you look at it and say, that fighter didn't win a title. You you just knew they had won a title. Like, well, Gabe Rosado got one, but he fits it kind of. Ernie Shavers, Jerry Cooney, some of those heavyweights back in the 70s. Emmanuel Augustus, he was the most cheated. He got the record for being robbed, Augustus. But that style he had, he would be in the fight, and the next minute he'd be in the ring dancing. That kind of turned judges off, man. Yeah. He's got the record for being robbed. Yeah, but that's tomorrow. And then Thursday, the Boxing in the State series continues with boxing in Georgia. Friday, the life and career of Ike Williams. Okay, but today, women in boxing. Okay. Get everything set up here. Okay. Today is Tuesday. And tomorrow is the old hump day already. BVO Boxing TV. What's up, BVO Boxing TV? You come on at 8 o'clock, right, BVO? BVO Monday through Thursday, right? I never get no notifications or nothing, but I'm going to be ready tonight. And don't forget my question when you interview T.O. BVO. Tell him we don't want no more Steve Claggets. And, when is he going to stop cherry picking? Okay? And fight somebody. Tell him your brother Cass Sports wants to know. But salute BVO Boxing TV. I think he comes on at 8 Monday through Thursday. Okay. Women in boxing. Okay. Now while women's boxing can trace its beginnings to London, as somebody's calling me, man. Who's that? I'm busy with 2 and 6, 2 and 4. Now, while women's boxing can trace its beginnings to London as far back as the 1720s, throughout the ensuing decades, there were various exhibitions and scattered fights until the 1950s. Then, in the 50s, several fighters, most notably Barbara Buttrick, Joanne Hagen, and Phyllis Kugler, staged professional fights. Now, the sport rekindled again in the 1970s, thanks to the efforts of several important trailblazers. And the 1970s in particular were highlighted by many women's boxing firsts, including many states lifting bans for women to box. Yeah, as far as up in the 70s, women were banned from boxing. And in the 70s, they issued first-time boxing licenses to women. They started sanctioning women's fights. And the various commissions around the country started approving more than 4 rounds for women's fights. Yeah, the women's fights they did approve back then were only 4 rounds. Yeah, but the 70s was when a lot of that changed. Now, although there are many historical events that played a part in the evolution of women's boxing, here are some of the top historical events that has shaped the sport as it is today. Okay. Okay, 1710. Now, 1710, one of the earliest mentions of women's boxing was in the diary of a German man who, while taking in a men's boxing event in London, he met a woman in the audience who claimed to have previously boxed another woman in the same venue. And that was in 1710, okay? 1722. One of the earliest known matches to have been advertised in print was in London between Elizabeth Wilkinson and Hannah Highfield, billing herself as the European championess. Wilkinson and her husband would also fight other mixed couples as a pair, with Wilkinson fighting the other woman and her husband fighting the other man. Okay? They fought in pairs. Thank you, BVO TV. Salute, bro. In 1876, New York Hills Theater held a boxing match between Nell Saunders and Rose Harlan. And that was considered the first female boxing match ever in the United States. And the top prize for the match was a silver butter dish. That's what the winner got, a silver butter dish. Okay? Okay, excuse me for a minute. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, the winner won between Nell Saunders and Rose Harlan. The winner won a silver butter dish. Okay? Then, in 1904, men and women's boxing was introduced at the modern Olympic Games in St. Louis as display events. And men's boxing was accepted and became a part of the Olympics. And women's boxing was not. You know, like I was saying in the opening, women's boxing didn't become a part until 2012, over 100 years after that, okay? Then we fast forward to the 1950s, because for the next 50 years, women's boxing was it was banned, you know? They had fights, but it was, you know, it was illegal, and they were behind the scenes. But in 1954, Barbara Buttrick is the first female boxer to have a fight broadcast on national television. Buttrick fought as a 98-pound flyweight and was only 4 feet and 11 inches tall. 4 feet 11 and 98 pounds. Wow. 1975. Eva Shane becomes the first female judge in professional boxing. And she went on to judge many professional fights, including world heavyweight title fights and 50 other title fights in the lower weight classes. And here's a quote she once made, okay? She said, "It wasn't the idea of being a trailblazer," Miss Shane said of her pioneering role. "It was just something I wanted to do. It was a challenge," okay? You know, she said she wasn't trying to be a trailblazer. It was just something she wanted to do, okay? In 1975, Nevada issues the first female boxing license to Caroline Spencer. In the following 3 years, California and New York followed suit. Lonnie Lee in the building. What's up, Lonnie Lee? Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT in the building. Salute, Lonnie. Women in boxing today, Lonnie. Let's get started. Salute to Lonnie. Okay, Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT is in the building. Okay. In 1975, the first female boxing judge came into existence, Eva Shane. And also in 1975, Nevada issued the first female boxing license, okay? Then, in 1979, a successful lawsuit was brought by Shirley Tucker and the ACLU, and he forced California to change their regulations that had limited women boxers to no more than 4 rounds, okay? 1979, this lady in the ACLU forced California to let women fight more than 4 rounds, okay? April 1987, Marion Tremilliard stages a month-long hunger strike, advocating for better conditions, pay, and recognition for women boxers. Quote, she said, "It's my heart, it's my love. Unless women get more recognition, we will be fighting just as a novelty for the rest of our lives. There will be no future for us in the sport of boxing," okay? Marion Tremilliard. 1988, Sweden becomes the first country to lift a ban on women's amateur boxing. Yeah, they had lifted the ban on professional, but up until 1988, Sweden became the first country to allow women to box in the amateur ranks. April 16th, 1992, Gail Grandchamp wins an 8-year legal battle for the right to fight. The judge ruled that it is illegal to deny someone the right to fight based on their gender. Okay? That was 1992. In March of 1993, Dallas Malloy and the ACLU files a lawsuit against USA Boxing. USA Boxing settles the suit and lifts the ban prohibiting women from boxing. And that was 1993, just a little over 30 years ago. In October of 1993, Dallas Malloy defeats Heather Poirier by decision in the first sanctioned women's amateur fight in the United States, 1993. In 1994, AIBA, the Amateur International Boxing Association, lifts the ban on women's boxing. Okay? 1994. 1995, the New York Golden Gloves includes women for the first time, less than 30 years ago. Okay? 1996, the coal miner's daughter, Christy Martin, fights Deidre Gogarty. This fight is considered the birth of modern professional women's boxing in the United States, 1996. Also in 1996, England lifts the ban on women's amateur boxing. Okay? So now everybody is starting to allow women to box professionally and in the amateurs. And then in 1997, USA Boxing holds its first national championship for women. 1999. Okay, again, the AIBA again. The Amateur International Boxing Association approves the first European Cup for women. Okay, and that had been going on for like a century for men. And it was just 1999 when it started for women. June 8th, 2001. This is when I was just talking about in the opening. Layla Ali and Jackie Frazier-Lyde was the first women's fight to ever headline a pay-per-view boxing event. The fight was dubbed Ali Frazier 4, and it took place on the 30th anniversary of their father's famous fight of the century on June 8th, 1971. 30 years anniversary of that fight. Later, Ali won by majority decision. Very good fight. Very good fight. Also in 2001, the first Women's World Amateur Boxing Championship takes place in Scranton, Pennsylvania. In 2009, the International Olympic Committee votes to lift the ban on women's boxing. Okay, so they're getting ready to allow women to box in the Olympics now. Okay, 2011, women's boxing is included in the Pan American Games for the first time. So once they got into the Pan American Games, you know they're going to the Olympics, because the Pan American Games, Commonwealth Games, all of them, all related to the Olympics, like a entrance tournament into the Olympics, So women was in the Pan American Games for the first time, 2011. Then the following year, 2012, women's boxing will debut as an Olympic event for the first time since the games began. Now they had it as a display event in 2004, remember? In 2004 they had 1904. They had men's and women's boxing in the Olympics, okay, as a display event. And they kept men's boxing, but they didn't keep the women. But finally in 2012, women's boxing debuted in the Olympics for the first time. And they've come a long ways in those 12 years up to today, up to this year. Yeah, come a long ways. Then on September 14, 2014, Cecilia Brækhus becomes the first woman and only the third boxer in history to become undisputed world champion in the four-belt era, behind B-Hop and Jermaine Taylor. Cecilia Brækhus was the first woman, not the GOAT. The GOAT was the first woman and first one to be two-time undisputed in the four-belt era, but Cecilia Brækhus was the first. to do it. Okay, first female to do it, third person overall. Behind B Hop and Jermaine Taylor. On March 5th, 2021, Claressa Shields becomes the first person, man or woman, in boxing history to be undisputed world champion in 2 different weight classes in the 4-belt era. The GWOAT, first boxer, male or female, to be 2-time undisputed in the 4-belt era. Then on April 30th, 2022, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano met in the first women's fight to headline a boxing card at Madison Square Garden. The fight was billed as For History and was named Fight of the Year by Sports Illustrated and Event of the Year by Ring Magazine. And remember, Taylor won the fight by a 10-round split decision. I thought Amanda won that one, okay? But I'm not a judge, and the judges thought Katie won. So Katie won, right? Right? Yeah, I'm not a judge. Let me take a drink. Let me talk about some of these. I got 5 of the biggest fights in women's boxing history here. I had to take a drink of water. How's everybody today? This Tuesday afternoon, early in the week. Got a whole week of boxing history straight ahead of us. Tomorrow was short of brought to you by Al Booker himself, and it's some of the top boxers, top contenders to never win a championship. I look at some of those heavyweights in the 70s. Ernie Shavers, Jerry Cooney. No doubt in this era they would both be champions. You got like 16 different belts. You got guys in their 4th and 5th fight walking out of the ring with a belt around this building. What kind of shit is that, man? Prospects with 4 and 5 fights got belts. That's crazy. Isn't that crazy? Damn. It's just too many of them. But anyway, women's boxing has made a lot of improvements and progress throughout the history of the sport. Currently, it's the most popular that it's ever been. Fighters like the GWOAT, Claressa Shields, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, and others are household names nowadays. Okay? Women's boxers are also being paid the most money they've ever made. And some women's fights have rounds of 3 minutes instead of 2 minutes now over the past couple of years. And some women's championship fights have been scheduled for 12 rounds instead of 10. So progress being made, I'll be glad when it gets to the point where all women's championship fights anyway are 12 3-minute rounds. And just a regular fight is 3 rounds. Like I told you about Jake Paul, he had a prospect fight on one of his last cards. It was 4 rounds, but it was 3 minutes. So they better get over there with Jake. And the WBA, the WBO, and IBF are willing to sanction them, but the WBC won't get on board. So that's why Amanda dropped it. Because Amanda said she wasn't fighting no more 10-minute 2-round championship fights. And she hasn't, She had to drop that WBC though because they wasn't sanctioned it. I don't get it. I don't get the reasoning that that women's only 2-minute rounds. I don't get it. Changes your whole strategy around, 2 minutes, You don't get that middle minute, Feel out in the first minute, then in the second minute, you start going to work, bring it on downhill in the third minute. But the women's, you get that 1 minute. Now you are looking at all of a sudden you got less than a minute to go, It seems like once you drop below that 1 minute, the seconds just go faster, And 2 minutes it's just crazy. It's not fair. Just not fair. But let's look at some of the 5 biggest female fights of all times. Okay. The first one is we was just talking about Cecilia Brækhus. I know I'm not saying the name right. Versus Sophie Mathis. Okay. That's Cecilia on the right and Sophie Mathis on the left. And this fight was October 1st, 2016. Okay. Anybody come in? I ain't trying to lose my job. No, I've been missing super chats and everything. Miss Cass, my boss, ain't having it. You know. Okay, nobody came. Okay. Now, Brackus was at that time the gold standard of female boxing. Remember, she had just a couple years ago became the first woman to be undisputed in the 4-belt era. Remember, and he was leading the way for women's boxers at a time where women's boxing was very different than it is now. That was just like 8 years ago, but it was very different then, man. I'm telling you, I got a pound for pound, top 10 pound for pounders in women's boxing. Like I was saying at the start, 10 years ago, I couldn't name 10 women's boxers. Now I'm making 10, I can name like 50 right off the top of my head now. But back then, no, I couldn't even name 5. So women's boxing have come a long way just in the last 10 years. Okay. Now the fight itself was short, with Brackus knocking out Mathis in the second round, successfully defending her undisputed welterweight championship. Okay. Now, what was significant about this fight? It marked the end to a ban of boxing in Norway, right? The sport had been banned there for over 3 decades before Brackus, who is from Colombia, had made Norway her home, right? And she went on to defend her title 3 more times in her adopted home in Norway. And it was bringing a firm end to the ban on boxing in that country. Yep. Cecilia Brackus. And the next fight, the one we just talked about, Laila Ali, Jackie Frazier-Lyde. That's Laila Ali on the left, Jackie Frazier-Lyde on the right. Okay. And it was June 8th, 2001. And Ali versus Foreman had shown a beaming light on female boxing at the turn of the millennium, right in 2001, right after the new millennium began. And these two heavyweight legends' daughters squared off at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino in Verona, New York, with both women putting their undefeated records on the line in an 8-round fight. And what a fight it was. The two ladies went at each other for the duration of the fight. Ali picked up a majority decision win, improving her record to 10-0 at the time. And Ali would continue on to go undefeated in her career, right? And she won 24 fights for 21 knockouts. That's an 87% knockout rate. Outstanding for women. Outstanding for men or women's boxing. 87%, right? And she picked up the WBC world title in the process. And Jackie Frazier-Lyde would never lose again. That's the only fight she ever lost, okay? And she finished her career at heavyweight with just that one loss to Ali. Yeah. And she only had about 14. I think she was like 14-1, but that was the only fight she ever lost. The next one is Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. Everybody remember that one. Yeah. Oh, okay. I got something blocking my screen. There we go. There we go. Yeah, Clarissa Shields. Well, that wasn't blocking y'all. I guess it was just mine. There we go. Yeah. This fight was October 15th, 2022. Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. Okay. Now, these two women met to decide who was the greatest female middleweight on the planet, with all 4 world titles on the line at the O2 Arena in London. Sky Sports and Boxer ambitiously created an all-female card involving the likes of Michaela Mayer, Alicia Baumgarten, and Caroline Dubois. And Shields would hand Marshall her first career defeat with a unanimous decision victory in the English capital. And the event was historical and record-breaking with an all-female lineup. It was broadcast around the world on Sky Sports and ESPN. Yup. I know everybody remember that one. The next one is Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron. One. Because remember, they had those two fights back to back. They fought again at the end of the year. But this was one. Two good fights, man. I don't know why they didn't get the trilogy because they were both majority decisions, right? Chantel won the first one, Katie won the second. They are still each other's only loss. That had trilogy written all over it, but we never got it. Yeah, they should have settled that. But Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron, May 20th, 2023. Now, this fight saw a nation's heroine return home. Ireland's Katie Taylor jumped up a weight in class to face fellow undisputed champion Chantel Cameron in December in Dublin, Ireland. It was Taylor's first fight in her homeland after 22 fights in her career, first fight in Ireland. And the country had turned its back on boxing due to a gangland murder at a weigh-in in 2016. You know, that had been the last boxing match they had in the country until this one, because of that event. And it was clear how huge this fight was for Ireland, with many of boxing stars in attendance at this fight. But Taylor struggled with Cameron, and she lost by majority decision. And Cameron was in fact a replacement for Amanda Serrano. That was supposed to be their second fight, remember? But Taylor won the rematch later that year to claim her second undisputed title in her second weight class in the 4-belt era at the time, becoming only the third boxer to accomplish that feat. Remember, at that point, it was just Clarissa Shields, Bud, and Katie Taylor was the third one. Since then, Monster and Usyk have joined them. Only 5, but at that time, Katie was the third one. And finally, we have Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. There they go. Katie on the right, Amanda on the left. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. This fight was April 30th, 2022. And the boxing world was captivated ahead of two of the biggest names in female boxing going to battle at Madison Square Garden in New York. After 10 action-packed rounds, Taylor claimed a split decision victory over the featherweight world champion to reclaim her undisputed lightweight title. It was another historic moment for Taylor. The fight being the first female fight to headline Madison Square Garden. And the fight received tremendous acclaim. Ring Magazine awarded it the event of the year. Okay? And now let's look at some former female greats. Okay? We're gonna look at some active ones too, but first, some former. Okay? Former female greats. Okay, everybody smashing the like, yes. Hori Faints in the building. What's up, Hori? We're talking about women in boxing today, Hori. Wow. My likes looking good. The thing must be wrong for the amount of people to see. I got a lot more likes than that. Wow. Some people must be listening. Yeah, but that's good. Listen on. Hope you're enjoying the show, everybody. Okay? But salute, Hori Faints. We talking about women in boxing today. Yep. And now we're going to look at some former great women fighters. And then we're going to look at some active, like a little top 10 pound for pound, I think. But first, I got like 7 or 8 former female greats. Not in any particular order, okay? First is Holly Holm. There's Holly Holm. That's Holly on the left, behind my name, the light colored here. Okay? Holly Holm. Everybody, how's everybody today? Tuesday afternoon. Early in the week on Cast Sports Tobacco Story. Bringing you all that boxing history. Okay? The Holly Holm finished her career with a record of 33 wins, 2 losses, 3 draws, 9 wins by knockout. Okay? And starting off the list is former UFC bantamweight champion Holly Holm. Called herself the preacher's daughter. She's the only fighter to hold a world boxing and a UFC title. As she started her boxing career before her MMA career. Holm made her boxing debut in 2002, and she won the IBA light welterweight title, as well as the WBA, WIBA, IFBA, IBA, and GBU welterweight titles. And with 9 wins by knockout, Holm beat the likes of Anne Sophie Mathis, Diane Prazak, Christy Martin, Mia St. John, and Mary Jo Sanders. Now, while MMA ended up being her final home, boxing holds a special place in Holm's heart. There's no denying Holm's trailblazing status, okay, in the sport of women's boxing. Next is the coal miner's daughter, Christy Martin, International Boxing Hall of Famer, right there. Salute, boy, Faints. Good to see you today, bro. The coal miner's daughter, Christy Martin. Okay. Yeah, she was shot by her husband during her life too, yeah. Yep. Now, one of the most important figures in women's boxing history, Christy Martin's longevity and tough nature has cemented her status as one of the top fighters in boxing history, not just women's boxing, boxing history. She finished her career with a record of 49 wins, 7 losses, 3 draws, 32 knockouts, okay? 59 fights altogether. Longevity. Like I said, the coal miner's daughter made her pro debut in 1989, and she would end up winning the WBC super welterweight title 20 years later in 2009. And she was the first female to be inducted into the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame. And Martin was also inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. And at one point, she was working with Evan Holyfield, son of Evander Holyfield. And she still makes her way to a few boxing fights every now and then. And there can only be one Christy Martin. And boxing is lucky to have had someone like her, okay? The coal miner's daughter, Christy Martin. Next is Laila Ali. She had big shoes to fill coming behind Muhammad Ali, and she did a pretty good job, man. Final record, 24-0, 21 knockouts. That's 87% knockout rate, okay? 87%. That is outstanding, man. For men, women, whatever kind of boxing. 87% knockout rate. That means almost 9 in 10 fights, her opponent went up out of there. Her opponent, 9 out of 10 fights, she didn't need no judges at ringside, okay? She got the job done. Her opponent didn't see the final round. 87%. Might as well say 90. Okay, that's 9 out of 10. Okay. Now, next on the list is the daughter of Muhammad Ali, Laila Ali. Making her pro debut in 1999, Ali became the first woman to headline a pay-per-view event against Jackie Frazier-Lyde. And Jackie Frazier-Lyde was 39 during that fight, and Laila was 23. Jackie Frazier-Lyde was 38 when she started her professional career. Yeah, I don't know why she started so late. But yeah, like I said, that was the first women fight to headline a pay-per-view event. And yeah, Jackie Frazier-Lyde was the daughter of Joe Frazier. That was in 2001. And for people who just came in, that fight was on June 8th, 2001, which was the 30-year anniversary of their fastest famous fight of the century, June 8th, 1971. They fought on the 30-year anniversary. And it was billed Ali Frazier 4. Okay, so Ali won 3 out of 4. And Ali is a former IBA, IWBF, I don't even know what that stands for. International Women's Boxing Federation, I guess. WBC, and WIBA super middleweight champion, as well as an IWBF light heavyweight champion. Being the daughter of a legend can result in a lot of pressure, but Ali managed to thrive under it. Like I was saying, she had big shoes to fill, and she did a good job of filling them. A TV personality now, one has to wonder how Ali would do against today's top fighters, okay? Like a Claressa Shields or Savannah Marshall, because she was right up, or Franchon Cruz, or Shadasia Green, because Ali was at 168, right where all of them are at. Shadasia, Franchon, Savannah, the GOAT, all right around 168. The GOAT just went to heavyweight, but she was right at 168. And the heavyweight for the women she fought is just 175. It wasn't no big jump. Like I heard somebody say it was 200. No, it was 175. She fought the lady last week. Yeah, the weight limit was 175. It wasn't nothing but 7 pounds. Your heavyweight varies in the women's ranks, okay? Some of the sanctioning bodies don't even have a heavyweight. Whatever belt they were fighting for, the heavyweight weight limit was 175. Yeah, so she can go back down to 168 easy. But yeah, she thrived under the pressure, and you had to wonder how she would do against today's crowd. And that would be an excellent dream fight, her and Claressa Shields. I should have included that last week when I did the dream fight. That would have been a good one. The GOAT and Claressa Shields, yeah. And next one, Ann Wolfe. The guy yesterday, I forgot his name. He didn't come today. He was talking about Ann Wolfe. I told him Ann gonna be on there. You ain't doing no list on the top all women fighters all time and not have Ann Wolfe on it. And you don't know women's boxing if you do that. Ann Wolfe finished her career 24 wins, 1 loss, 16 knockouts. That's not bad at all for women's boxing. You know, when you see some of these women with 30 fights and 2 knockouts, you know, that's not bad. 16 knockouts in 24 fights. That's a rate of almost 70%. 7 out of 10. That ain't bad at all. At all, like Jay Hardcore says. Just Do Boxing in the building. What's up, Just Do? Women in boxing today, bro. We are just talking about some of the top former women's fighters. We got some of the current active coming up in a moment, but right now. And like I was just saying, you can't do a top 10, any kind of all-time women's list and don't have Ann Wolfe on it. You should be locked up in jail if you do something like that. Ann Wolfe got to be on it. 24-1, almost a 70% knockout rate. Excellent for women's boxing. Ann Wolfe, but owner of one of now she's known as the hardest punching women of all time, might be the hardest puncher. But I guess Amanda and Savannah Marshall have something to say about that. They go back and forth, Amanda and Savannah Marshall, about now who it is. But Ann Wolfe is definitely one of them. Owner of one of the greatest knockouts in boxing history. Ann Wolfe is as tough as they come. Making her debut in 1998, Wolfe is a former WBA, NABA super middleweight champion, as well as an IBA light heavyweight champion. I don't know why her and Layla Ali never fought, because they were right there, super middleweight. Right there, around the same weight class, man. But they never fought. Some say Ali ducked her. But in 2004, against Vonda Ward, Wolfe knocked her out with a devastating punch in the first round that is still talked about to this day. Wolfe ended her career in 2006, but she continued to get back, training fighters like James Kirkland, okay? She has also appeared in films like Wonder Woman. With 16 wins by knockout, there's no wonder the Hall of Famer is on this list. Yeah, Wolfe got to be on there, man. You can't do an all-time women's list and leave Ann Wolfe off. So the police should come get you if you do that. Next is Regina Halmich. Regina Halmich. It's an L in her name. I spelled it wrong. Regina Halmich, okay? Now, she had 65 fights, Regina did. She won 54. No, she had 56 fights. She won 54, lost 1, and she had 1 draw. And she had 16 knockouts. Okay? Now, boxing fans in the United States may not be familiar with Regina, but she is considered one of the most influential boxers of all time, okay? Men or women. She was from Germany. She helped popularize the sport in Europe, popularized the women's boxing in Europe, or boxing period in Europe. Helmich won the IBF flyweight title in 1995, okay? And she defended it a total of 29 times, okay? 29 times. And Joe Louis' record is 25, so very interesting. She defended hers 29 times. And Joe Louis got the record for men at 25, remember? Regina defended hers 29 times. She also won the IBF super flyweight title and the IBF light flyweight title. Now, outside of fighting, Helmich pursued modeling. Oh, I didn't change it. Wait a minute. Yeah, that looked like Later Ali. I have not changed this thing for nobody. That's Ann Wolf. Yeah, that's Regina. Yeah, I changed it. That's her, because she was a model. Layla, Ann Wolf. Damn, it looks like a man Ann Wolf fighting. Okay. Yeah, that's Regina on the left. Okay. Yeah, Regina's from Germany. And where was it? Yeah, she defended her title 29 times, man. Yeah. And they say Joe Louis got the record for 25. That's for men. Okay. But all the boxing, Regina got him. Okay. And like I was saying, she had championships at flyweight, light flyweight. And she also won the IBF super flyweight title and the IBF light flyweight title. And outside of boxing, she pursued modeling, and she owned her own cosmetics business. And with 16 wins via knockout, Helmich was someone who meant business in and out of the ring. Okay, Regina Helmich. Yeah, I spelled it wrong. It's F-A-H-A-L-M-I-C-H. Okay, next. Lucia Richker. Okay. Now, she ended up 17-0, 14 knockouts. These women got some good rates, man. 14 knockouts in 17 fights. I just love knockout rates. Let's see. Gotta be more than some 20%. 82%. Anytime you get over 80, that's damn good. 82% knockout rate. Okay. Now, considered the most dangerous woman in the world, Lucia Richker is a kickboxing and boxing champion. She's a former WIBF welterweight and WBO junior welterweight champion, and is a member of both the International Women's and International Boxing Hall of Fame. Her dangerous striking ability allowed her to play a key role in $1 Million Baby. Remember the part where the girl, Clint Eastwood was training the one girl and the other girl attacked her from the back? That was her. That was Lucia. Did I change it? Yeah. Yeah, that was Lucia that attacked her. That's Lucia on the left, remember? The round was over. She came running across there and hit her in the back and crippled her or something. And she played that role. She was in $1 Million Baby. Boxing fans didn't get to see her facing Christy Martin. But there is no denying a woman with 14 wins via knockout was someone who would be feared today. Yeah, her and Christy Martin didn't get in there. That would have been a good fight. Okay. Cecilia Brækhus. Am I up to date? Yeah, that's Cecilia. That's Cecilia Brækhus. We talked about her. She had a final record of 37 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 9 knockouts. Called herself the First Lady. During her career, she was the gold standard when it came to title fights. Brækhus is the first woman to be undisputed in the 4-belt era, and the third boxer in history to accomplish the feat. Remember, behind B-Hop and Jermaine Taylor, she was number 3. First woman, not the GOAT. The GOAT was the first woman to do it first person to do it in 2 weight classes, but Cecilia was the first woman to do it. She ended up defending the title 25 times, okay? She beat the likes of Jessica Balogun, Mia St. John, Ioana Harbison, Erica Farias, and Callie Reese. Breakers finally tasted defeat in 2019 against Jessica McCaskill. Jessica was one of the few people that took all 4 at one time, okay? I think it's only one man that ever did it, Jermaine Taylor, when he took them from B-Hop. I don't think any other man has took all 4 of them at one time. They got 1 here, 2 there, 3 there. But yeah, anybody know any other man? I think Jermaine Taylor is the only man that took all 4 belts at one time when he took them from B-Hop. I can't think of nobody else that they got all 4 of them from one person. And Jessica McCaskill did Cecilia Brackens like that in 2021, right? 2019, and then Jessica beat her in the rematch in 2021. And as a dominant champion of her time, Brackens was an otherworldly fighter. Now we got some look at some of the top women's fighters of today. Okay? Of today. You know who's number 1. Okay. The GOAT. Yeah. Now, top active women's boxers today. Okay. Now, women's boxing has seen a resurgence since the sport was allowed to compete in the 2012 Olympics in London. Since then, fighters like Claressa Shields and Katie Taylor have gone on to win undisputed championships in 2 weight divisions and to top the women's pound-for-pound list. Before that, women's boxing was fighting for popularity. And since the early 2000s, when Layla Ali and Christy Martin were competing in big events, to Amanda Serrano winning titles in an unprecedented 7 weight classes, women's boxing wasn't as big as it is today, nowhere near. A big part of that is fights staged as main events in iconic venues, such as Claressa Shields and Marie Eve Dicaire headlining the first all-women's pay-per-view event in 2021. Yeah, that was the first all-women's pay-per-view event. Now, Layla Ali and Jackie Frazier-Lyde was the first pay-per-view headlined by 2 women, but they had some male fighters on the undercard. Now, the GOAT, Claressa Shields and Marie Eve Dicaire, was the first all-women's pay-per-view card. All women on that card, okay? And that was in 2021. Or Taylor versus Serrano, the first women's championship fight to headline a card at the famed Madison Square Garden in New York. And don't forget, Ali, Holly Holm, Ann Wolfe, Christy Martin have all been inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. And Cecilia Brackens, who held at least 2 world titles for over 10 years, 26 fights. That's why they call her the gold standard during her era. She had at least 2 belts for over 10 years. Now, plenty of fighters can make a case for being the best of their generation, but which fighters are the best now? All right, start out with Claressa Shields. Okay, what the appreciation's looking like? They are, yeah. Claressa Shields. Okay, currently 15-0 with 3 knockouts. You know, that's what is that like? That is like a 20% knockout rate. 2 out of every 10. But nobody has beat her though. She gets the job done. That knock them out regular, but she gets that hand raised, and that's the object. And that ring announcer come in there with that card, you read off your name, and that referee raise your hand, and she's done it every time she's been in it. Okay? Claressa Shields, 15-0, 3 knockouts. After winning 2 Olympic gold medals as an amateur, 2012 and 2016, Shields has been just as dominant in the professional rank, winning titles in 4 weight divisions: junior middleweight, middleweight, super middleweight, and she just conquered heavyweight. Was it last week or the week before? Within the last couple of weeks, right? Her best win so far was a unanimous decision over Savannah Marshall in 2022. And Shields has relied on her boxing skills rather than power to deal with her opponents. Like I say, she gets her hand raised after every fight. That's the object, right? It's not to knock everybody out, it's to get your hand raised. I don't care if you do it, you're boring or whatever. As long as you get your hand raised, you got my vote. Okay, next is Katie Taylor, number 2. There's Katie on the right. Okay. The Boxing Menu Podcast Plus. What's up, bro? How are you today? Good to see you. The Boxing Menu Podcast Plus in the building. I know everybody in here subscribed to that, brother. Yeah. Another fire channel, but salute. We were talking about women in boxing today. Yeah. Right at still in the beginning of another big week of boxing history. Got a big week coming up. Got a good one tomorrow. We're going to talk about some fighters that were top contenders but never got a title. And you look at them now and say, he don't have a title? Like, you'd be surprised. Or she don't have a title. They were good enough, but just, like a lot of those heavyweights I was mentioning from the 70s, like Shavers and Cooney, Ron Lau, they just fought in the wrong era. No doubt. Nowadays, they would have a title. It's like 16 different titles. They probably have 14 of them. But Katie Taylor, she's only had 1 loss so far. That one to Chantel Cameron. 23 wins, 1 loss, 6 knockouts. Now, Taylor is from Ireland, but she lives and trains in Connecticut in the United States. She won a gold medal at the 2012 Olympics. First Olympics women were allowed in, okay? And she's a 2-division undisputed world champion, both in the 4-belt era, right? Only one of 5 people to do that. The Groot, Bud, Katie, the Monster, and Usyk, right? And she won her first world title in just her 7th fight. And her only professional loss is to Chantel Cameron in May 2023, which she avenged later that same year. And her biggest win to date was a split decision over Amanda Serrano in 2022. Remember, the first female fight to headline a card at the Garden up there in New York. Yep. And next is Amanda. See, 2 and 3, man, Katie and Amanda, you can flip-flop them, I ain't mad. Matter of fact, I had Amanda too, but when I was making the slide displays, I got mixed up and made it 3rd, so I didn't want to get mixed up when I was doing this, so I just left Amanda 3. But she was supposed to be 2, but I made her slide 3rd, so I just left her 3rd. But those 2, yeah, very close. But Amanda is 3. This is the Cash Sports Women's Top 10 pound for pound list. The vote number 1, 2 Katie Taylor, 3 Amanda Serrano. Amanda has exactly 50 fights currently. She's won 47, lost 2. She has 1 draw, 31 by way of knockout. Okay. And Serrano has defied boxing logic by jumping up and down weight class, and is the only woman to win world titles in more than 4 weight classes, total of 7. Okay. I see. Watch out, Mandy, because Amanda is still active. That 8 is in danger. And Amanda was 4-belt undisputed at featherweight, and she still holds 2 of those titles. She must have dropped another one. I know she dropped the WBC. I thought she had 3, but she still got 2. Dropped the WBC because they wouldn't sanction the 3-minute rounds. Amanda said she wouldn't fight no more 10 3-minute round championship fights, and she hasn't. And Serrano is a busy boxer who throws a lot of punches. Okay. Number 4 is Chantel Cameron. There's Chantel. Okay. Chantel Cameron. Now, Chantel only loss is to Katie Taylor in those two fights. And I thought for sure they was going to have a trilogy with it, you know. Two very good fights, two majority decisions. One judge had to draw both fights. They're each other's only loss. That had trilogy written all over it, but we didn't get it. I don't know how they just left that one hanging like that. But anyway, Chantel is 19 wins, 1 loss, 8 knockouts, okay? And Chantel is a former undisputed world champion, having held all 4 major belts, okay, at her junior welterweight. And of course, her biggest fight to date was a very competitive 2-fight series with Katie Taylor in 2023. She won the first fight, lost the second. Both fights were majority decisions. And like I was saying, both fighters are each other's only loss, right? And number 5 is Senice Estrada. Okay, stay with me for a minute. Senice Estrada is number 5 on the Cash Sports Women's pound for pound list. Okay, Senice is Senice Estrada. I should have been ready. Bear with me for a minute. I didn't have my write up ready, so I gotta pull it up. But I'm doing it. We got I don't know how it's 3:30. Y'all know how long I've been on here. 10 minutes. I've been on here no hour and a half. I know that. Okay, Senice Estrada, right? She was a WBA female minimum weight champion since March 2021. She had the WBC and ring minimum weight title since March 2023, and the IBF and WBO female minimum weight titles since March 2024. On March 29th, 2024, she became the undisputed female minimum weight champion of the world. She previously had the WBC silver female light flyweight title from 2018 until 2021, and the WBA female interim flyweight title from 2019 to 2020. And as of March 2024, she is rated as the number 1 pound-for-pound female fighter in the world by BoxRec, and the number 5 pound-for-pound female fighter in the world by The Ring magazine. I believe she just fought, and she just fought a couple weeks ago. She won, okay? And Senice has a record of 26-0 with 9 knockouts. Yeah, Senice just had a fight. Let me see who that fight was again. I think it was like July 27th, which was not last Saturday, but the Saturday before last. Yeah, pretty sure she did. I remember seeing her name on a card. Let's see here. Yeah. No, it was March. Yokasta Valet. I got her mixed up with somebody else. But number 6 on the Cash Sports pound for pound list is Mikaela Mayer. There's Mikaela. Melanie Queen 27, salute. Good afternoon, Melanie Queen 27. You almost missed the entire show on women's boxing. We are now looking at the Cash Sports top 10 women's pound for pound list. I'll review for you. Number 1 is the GOAT, Claressa Shields. Okay. Number 2 is Katie Taylor. Number 3 is Amanda Serrano. Number 4 is Chantel Cameron. Number 5 is Senice Estrada. Number 6 is Mikaela Mayer, where we are right now. Mikaela Mayer. Okay. I can't believe it's 3:30. Hope everybody's enjoying the show. Mikaela Mayer. Come on, don't do this to me. Oh, I thought the music had stopped. The music stopped, I gotta stop. Okay, Michaela Mayer, number 6 on the CAS Sports women's pound for pound list. Okay, now Michaela, she's a former unified super featherweight world champion. She had the WBO and the IBF titles simultaneously. And she has also held the interim WBC lightweight world title. And as an amateur, she won a bronze medal at the 2012 World Championships. And she competed for the United States at the 2016 Olympics. She didn't medal, but she did make the team. Michaela Mayer. Okay. Number 7, Savannah Marshall. Savannah Marshall. Yeah, you gotta have Savannah in there. Savannah is a good boxer. Yeah. She was undisputed at 168. She took all 4 at one time also. Took them from Fran Chon, remember? Yeah. And she went champion in recess. And Fran Chon won the interim. And they were supposed to be fighting, but they haven't fought yet. And I think her time, it's like a time limit on that champion in recess break. And I don't know how she's, oh, you super busy today, Melanie Queen? Okay. But you made it. I'm glad you made it. Now, Savannah Marshall is from England, okay? And she's held world championships in 2 weight classes. She was undisputed in Ring Magazine super middleweight champion since 2023. And she was the WBO middleweight champion from 2020 to 2022. As an amateur, she became the first British female world champion after winning gold at the 2012 World Championships. The same Olympics that she won the gold at the same Olympics that Katie Taylor medaled in. But anyway, number 8 is Caskilla, Jessica McCaskill. That's Jessica on the right. Okay, Caskilla, Jessica McCaskill, number 8 on the CAS Sports Women's Pound for Pound top 10 list. Okay, Caskilla. Okay. Savannah Marshall currently has a record of 13 wins, 1 loss, 10 knockouts. Only loss coming to the group. Okay? Only loss coming to the group. In that super middleweight battle, undisputed battle at middleweight. Theirs was at middleweight. That was before they both went up. And Jessica McCaskill has a record of, oh my God, we have a record. Let me see what Caskilla's record is, okay? 12 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 5 by knockout. Caskilla. Okay? Take a look at Caskilla. Hope everybody's doing okay this Tuesday afternoon. Still early in the week, but we're moving on through it. Got a big week of boxing history planned for you. Yeah, that's right. 12 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 5 knockouts for Caskilla. Okay, Caskilla, that's her nickname. Let's talk about Caskilla briefly. Okay, that's Caskilla on the right. Now, she was a former world champion in 2 weight classes, and she was undisputed at welterweight. She took all 4 titles from Cecilia Brækhus in 2019, and then she beat her in the rematch, okay? And she also challenged for the WBA lightweight title. I think it was Michaela Mayer. She fell short against her. And 12 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 5 by knockout. Okay. Number 9 on the CAS Sports Women's Top 10 Pound for Pound list, Natasha Jonas. Natasha Jonas. Okay. and Natasha has a record of. Natasha has a record of. I should have had this information. Not enough time today. These shows, a content creator will tell you, this show might be on 2 hours, but it takes a lot longer than 2 hours to prepare it. But Natasha has 15 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, and she has 9 wins by way of knockout. Okay? Natasha Jonas. Let's briefly touch on her career. See what her accolades is and everything. Natasha Jonas, we're winding down. Got like 20 minutes left to go in the show today. Hope everybody enjoyed it. And she was the unified WBC and WBO light middleweight champion since 2022. And as an amateur, she won a bronze medal in the light welterweight division at the 2011 European Championship. She won bronze in the lightweight division at the 2012 Amateur International Boxing Association World Championships, and silver in the lightweight division at the 2014 European Championships. So very decorated amateur boxer. Okay. And like I said, she has the unified WBC and WBO junior middleweight titles since 2022. And she was number 9. And to round out the list, number 10 on the Cast Sports top 10 women's pound for pound list, the veteran, Delphine Persoon. Yeah, Delphine is on it. Some people argue that she beat Katie Taylor. They gave it to Katie, but you know. Close fight. Can't be mad either way it went, you know. Yeah. People say Delphine won it. I don't know, but she's a veteran fighter, Delphine. Okay. That's what I meant. That's what I put. So that's what I meant, right? How the hell is the phone gonna ask me what I meant? Gee. Okay. Sometimes these damn phones are too smart, man. Like I'm talking to a person. Did you mean? I'm gonna have to go to my backup. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. Bear with me for a minute. This phone wanna be smart. This one all loud. Yeah, but big week of boxing history coming up. Tomorrow is going to be a good one. You don't want to miss it. We're going to be looking at some boxers that top level boxers that never won a title. Okay? And Delphine has a total of 52 fights. Okay, she won 48. She lost 3. And she has 1 no contest. 19 knockouts. Okay? And Delphine held the IBF lightweight title in 2012 and the WBC lightweight title from 2014 to 2019. And she lost it in the unification fight against Katie Taylor. They was going for the undisputed lightweight championship. That was a very good fight, right? That was in 2019, right? And as of September 2020, Delphine is ranked as the world's best active female super featherweight by BoxRec. And she's the second best active female lightweight by The Ring. And the second best active female pound for pound by BoxRec, by The Ring, and 7th by ESPN. But that was in 2020. Delphine is from Belgium. They call it Belgianese or something like that. Belgian? I don't know. Belgian. Belgianese, yeah. And that's what I have. Women in boxing today. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. Still got a big week ahead of us. I'll miss tomorrow some top level contenders that never won a title. Okay? When you look back at their careers, you could sworn they won a title, but you'll be surprised when you hear some of these names. They didn't win a title. Some Some of those heavyweights in the 70s, Ernest Shavers, Jerry Cooney. I don't think Ron Lyle had one. Like me and Al Booker was saying, Gabe Rosado, nope. I think he did get a title now, but it was late in his career. But he fits into that category. I'm going to fit him in. Emmanuel Augustus holds the record for being robbed by the judges. But like I was saying in the open top of the show, he cut up so much in the ring. You know, he'd be boxing, then all of a sudden he danced and got his leg cocked up in the air, waving his arms and shit. And he just turned the judges off, man, you know. The judges might deduct points on his card without the referee even telling them, man, because he used to be a clown in there. But Floyd Mayweather Jr. did say that Emmanuel Augustus was his toughest fight. Yeah. TBE said that, man, yeah. But if you haven't subscribed, you know, like and subscribe to the channel, you know, trying to pull up on 1,000. I got 3 membership groups. I got my first member last week, Mr. AKA Hot Beast. Mr. Gumbo, AKA Hot Beast from down there in New Orleans. He's a member of the Put It in the Chat Club. And then I got the second level is Cass and Friends. At the top level is the Boxtorian Society. Okay. That's the high society club there, you know. Ones walk around with the head all up in the air. The Boxtorian Society, you know. Yeah, that's that. That's the top level. And put it in the chat club, yeah. Remember that? Put it in the chat. Is it in there? Put it in the chat. Yeah. So those are my 3 clubs. Got my first member last week. Upward Mobility. That's the motto in the JBT. Upward Mobility. As long as you're going upward. It can be a half a step upward, but as long as you're going upward, not downward, you're making progress. Okay? But women in boxing, yeah, I like to talk about the women every now and then because they give us, they are getting in there, putting it on the line for us too, right? So we got to give them their props. Okay? But tomorrow is a very good one. We're going to talk about those boxers that top level boxers that you could have sworn had a title. Tomorrow. We're gonna talk about them. And boxing in Georgia Thursday, as the boxing in the state series continues. And then Friday, the life and career of Ike Williams. I forgot his name momentarily. I'm not good with names. Now I can remember one name, like first or last or a nickname, but a full name, nah. Like Al Booker, you still in here? What was the guy's name that was commentating Saturday? I kept calling him Sergio Martinez yesterday. What's his name? Sergio something. Yeah, but yeah, I thought he did terrible commentary. But yeah, I had to correct that mistake. I kept saying Sergio Martinez was doing terrible commentary Saturday. I meant Sergio, whatever his last name is. Al Booker corrected me yesterday, but I forgot again already. I can remember one name, but I can't remember full names. Sergio. He was terrible on the commentary, man. You could tell who he was rooting for by like the second round. And then he just, it was just like it was one guy in there fighting, listening. And he's supposed to be an analyst describing the action, right? And it was just like one guy in there fighting. He should have just got up from the commentator's table and went over there and sat in the corner and just gave that fighter advice. Because that's what he was doing from the commentator's table, man. And it was ridiculous. I put him on Tim Bradley's level, so you know that's bad. If you bias on Tim Bradley level, that's bad. Sergio is on that level, man. Yeah. He just did a terrible job. I can't think of his name. I know his first name is Sergio. Yeah, I think he used to box middleweight or something like that. Yeah. What's up, T Hill? How are you today, bro? Good to see you. I didn't even know you was in here. Salute, Thomas Hill. You just came in, didn't you? Yeah, Thomas Hill in the building. Or you was just a voyeur. What's up, T Hill? How are you today? What's going on out there in California, IA? Sunny Southern California. Everything good with you? It's all good here. You missed a good show. Women's boxing. Now we do it over here at Cass Sports, the Box Historian. Boxing history. And a few other things. Today is the 6th, right? Yeah. The 6th. Yeah. Of August. We're moving on toward the fall, ladies and gentlemen. We got a bad storm coming up here in Maryland this evening. I got everything done that I had to get done outside today. Yeah. But salute Thomas here. Oh, you've been listening? Okay. There it is right there, Tisha. I was putting it in. We was on the same page. I was putting it in as I was talking. Yeah. Thomas Hill hashtag JBT. See, I told you I'm good with that link now. See, I ain't playing around. There it is. What's up, my brother? You up here?
I just been listening, man. I've been subdued a little bit lately. Because hell, man, I've been getting. It's been 109, 110 and whatnot.
Oh, I know, man.
You know, I've been out there working in that heat. That sucker been draining me.
Yeah.
On top of that, you know, I think I got like an ENT condition, something, probably an infection on my ear, nose, throat. So like it's making like phlegm build up, but it's not infected, but it's bothersome. So like it messed with my ability to sleep every now and again, man. Sometimes I don't be getting to sleep because it like I got to get up and spit up the phlegm. The good thing is, like I said, it's not infected, so you know it's clear. So that's the good thing. But yeah, it's been taking a toll on me. So I just really just been listening in. But man, women's boxing, that was an excellent segment on it, man. I mean, I think what we got to realize is how to compartmentalize greatness in its spectrum of time, because some people could be great in a time, may not be great in another time, and then there are others who, no matter what time you put them in, they're going to be great. A lot of people say Clarissa is like the greatest of all time, right?
Yeah.
She got a lot of accolades to speak to it. But you got to realize there's more opportunity for her to fight now than it was for certain other people to fight. Who's to say that Ann Wolf could not be doing what she's doing? Who's to say that Layla Ali couldn't do it? Because I'm a firm believer in Layla Ali because I've seen her fights. You know what I'm saying? Right now, the reason why I say what I say about Amanda Serrano is everything that Clarissa claims to do, Serrano is doing. Like she is literally doing. She's putting eyes on the sport for women.
And guess
she's
what?
Doing. Go ahead.
Layla got like almost a 90% knockout rate. She can
I was just about to allude to that, and that's difficult. Not even Ann Wolf has a higher knockout percent than Layla Ali. Layla Ali wasn't fighting bums neither. She was fighting some real deal fighters as well too. So like the last fight for Clarissa, I'm not going to take anything away from her, but that woman didn't belong in the ring with her.
No, she did not even belong. No way, man.
So
didn't fight nobody like that.
So as you get up further and further in weight, you can see the disparaging difference in talent. Like they just big. They're not talented. See, in boxing, you can't just go up in men's boxing and be somebody that's like 170 and go out there and deal with some contending heavyweights. You're going to get knocked out.
That's what's going to happen. Yeah.
But up there, you can do it. So like, you know, I just want to say that, you know, I think we gotta scale down on like disrespecting other people just to make somebody else look great. Clarissa's great all on her own merit. Let her be great on her own merit. Don't take somebody else's greatness and minimize it to make hers look that much more substantial. And likewise, as fighters, they shouldn't be doing that, because the goal, because the goal like that for women's basketball or any women's sport that's competing on a level that the men are competing on, but not getting some of the the benefits that the men are getting. Like, women shouldn't make more than men in the sport because they're fairly new, but it shouldn't be to the point where it is now. No, where they're making a fraction of what they can make in a good competitive job in the world. You know what I'm saying? They should definitely make more, because you can't play basketball for the NBA and make anything less than what you would be making if you was on like some huge corporation and you were higher up. So it should be similar for the women. They should have that same option and that same ability. And I think that, people like Amanda Serrano are doing stuff to make sure that they can level the playing field. Going 3 rounds, 3-minute rounds, and going for 12. That's what men do. So I'm gonna show you that I can do everything that the men can do.
That's right. Amanda said she wasn't fighting anymore 10 round 2 minutes.
And I respect that, because and you see why she's making the most money from a woman's standpoint, because she's putting the most into the ring. And on top of that, she's getting knockouts. I'll knock you out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop you.
Yeah. So, Amanda's up there.
So I just wanted to say that, because a lot of people say a lot of things, but what you say? I'm sorry, Kaz. Go ahead.
So you got all great points. That's all. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to say that we could say a lot of us who ain't even been in a ring can say a lot of stuff about what goes down in the ring. The women and the men that participate in the ring can say a lot of what's going down in the ring, but ultimately in the ring is where everything gets resolved. That's right. If you really feel that way, you can make mad money in an exhibition match. Go on over there and call that woman out. Keep calling her out. The energy that you're focusing on Thurman, put that on Layla Ali. Say, let's go. Let's do an exhibition.
Yeah. That's disrespectful to calling out a man, I think. Come
on. Like, because what can he do? Honestly, what can he do? He can't fight her like he would fight an opponent, because he would demolish her.
He might kill her.
You know what I'm saying? And she knows this.
Yeah.
She knows this. Like she might be able to get some whippersnapper off the street who don't know how to box, and she can piece him up a little bit.
Yeah.
But all it takes is one clean punch, and next thing you know, it's the whole thing. Yeah. So like, that stuff got to stop, and putting other people's accomplishments down to lift yours up got to stop, and that got to stop all around, not just in the women's, but all around in boxing. And this Turki Al-Sheikh guy, oh man, like, he literally trying to do to boxing what they did to golf and create a new league. He's trying to do to boxing what they did to golf and trying to create a whole nother league. And he's trying to get these other people to band with him so that he can put together fights to try to seize out. Yeah, because he's trying to seize out the big fighters like Canelo. So now I'm not going to even try to deal with Canelo. I'm not going to try to deal with you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take your competition away from you. So you're going to have to eventually come over to here.
Yep. That's what he's doing.
And I don't understand why people don't see this. Yeah. They're losing money for the events that they're putting on, because they're not selling out. And on top of that, he's getting people to do open displays. Like, what's up with all the dang gifts and stuff for him? Like, what is this about?
Like, he a king or something, man.
Exactly. What has he done to deserve any of that stuff?
I know, man. That part was crazy. Give him the WBC, gave him an honorary belt. I'm like, what the hell?
It was like coronation, man. Like, they coronating this dude. And it just didn't. Yeah, it was real crazy, man. It didn't look good at all. It was a bad look. It was a real bad look.
Yeah, what has he
But I
done to
will
get an
say the
honorary
event was
belt?
a real good event, though. It was a good event. Bad look.
I know.
All that
They didn't have to.
necessary stuff.
Yeah, they
Oh,
went
go ahead.
overboard. Yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't have to give
exactly.
him an honorary belt, T Hill. Come on now.
Exactly. In a Hall of Fame
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's
for
worse
for
than
like
Rocky being in there. You know, like Sylvester Stallone. That's worse than that. Record of 0 and 0.
I'll even go beyond that. I think Rocky has been more iconic to the sport of boxing than this man has.
Than him, yeah.
And yeah, in this short time. And why? Why? Like they shellacked that whole dang thing. It's like a rite of passage to let everybody see this is where we need to be for boxing. And I'm sorry, man. Competition always makes the product better.
Everything.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, competition is good.
And he's trying to do away with competition.
Yeah.
So you know, while it was a great event, there were some things that just left a lot to be desired. That performance, that little concert, like you said yesterday.
Yeah.
It would have been better on if he just put it on Friday. Why just put it on Friday?
Had 3 or 4 acts on Friday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I agree with you.
People would attend. You know people that's not even going to the boxing match, but they can make money off the concert, you know?
Exactly. And it wouldn't seem rushed, hurried, or like it was just something thrown together.
I know. Why mix them together like that? You know, boxing and a concert. That ain't no good fit. But you know, yeah, it's like they was kissing his ass or something, man. I just say it. That's what it looked like to me, man, you know?
No, you were absolutely spot on with that, man. And it just looked like it was all part of like some kind of play that they putting on to send messages out there to people. Yeah. And I'm not like, man, honestly, he's put on some pretty decent cards and he's put on some bad cards, but he ain't done nothing for him to be coordinated like that. And I don't understand. You
gotta come deal with him or else, you know.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, now he's trying to lock up fighters so that, you know, in order for you to get a fight that we want to see, you're going to have to go deal with me.
Right. Because you're not going to fight this fighter here unless you deal with me, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, the people who were glowing him up, talking about how good he is for boxing, look at it from the end game perspective, what he's really doing.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
They'll see.
But once again, fabulous show. Spot on commentary. Spot on content.
What did you think about the card? Did I talk to you yesterday? I don't think so.
No, you didn't talk to me yesterday. I don't think I even got on yesterday.
What did you think about the card started? I don't think I talked to you about
like I said, I thought the cards were very good cards. I thought that
fights. Okay.
The fights were good. The production was good, but it's overboard. It's like we watching movies.
Yeah.
You know, movies, you in the theater for like 2.5 hours. We shouldn't be doing this every time somebody come in to fight. It shouldn't be like a whole hour before they get into the ring because you got spots and drops and you're doing things like that. That's 9.5 hours, man.
Keep it boxing. You know,
keep it boxing.
In between the fights, had the commentators over there talking about other boxing events coming up, stuff like that. You don't need to be doing no concerts of that. Keep it boxing, man, because that's what people buy the pay-per-view for, boxing, not concerts. If I want to go to
for sure. And if you really wanted to do the concert like that, you could have done it in between each. You could have had them do a song in between each fight.
That would have been better. Not drawn out like shorter. Right. That would work. That would work.
That would have been better, and it would have made the time pass a little quicker. But what they were doing, man, it was just too long, way too long. And you know, I like boxing, but I like boxing. I don't want to hear you talk about something else. I don't want to see you put on this and all this stuff when we could be getting to the boxing, especially when it's taking 9.5 hours. That's way too long.
And in between the fights, I like to hear them talking about the other fights and boxers and other events and the pound for pound and all that stuff. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to see no concert, man. When I pay for a pay-per-view, I'm paying for all boxing. You know, in between the fights, doing the fights, I'm paying for boxing, man.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, you can use that time to bring prospective boxers and maybe fights up there. Y'all, that's what they used to do back. See, that's the thing that gets me. How people ducking people and scared of people when back in the days you knew people wanted to fight because they showed up to the fight and they spoke on it. And if the person they want to fight is in the ring afterwards, they get in the ring and say, "Hey, that was a great fight. You know, I want to prove that I'm the best. Give me that opportunity. Let's make this happen next." You could be doing all kinds of stuff like that. You got Loma who say he want to spend time with his family. This Mickey Freaky out there picking fights with Shakur Stevenson.
That's crazy.
Shakur Stevenson saying that Loma and Tank fight is not a good fight, but you want him to get in the ring with you.
Right. Ain't that something, man?
So like we gotta do better, man. We gotta do better. You know that Tank Loma fight is a good fight. You know Tank gonna win, but you know that's a good fight.
It's gonna sell.
It's definitely gonna sell. So much so that you want to get in the ring with them.
Yeah. Because a lot of people feel that Loma is a veteran. He's gonna stretch it out for a while, and a lot of people saying if he can get it to 12 rounds, he can win. A lot of people feel that way, man. You know?
You're right about that because they don't believe that Tank is a good boxer. They feel that way because they only believe he gets lucky and knocks people out. So like you don't have a 90+% knockout by being lucky. Nobody's that lucky. That's like going and playing a lottery and winning damn near every time you play. Nobody's that lucky.
Nobody's that lucky.
You know what I'm saying? But I let them say it.
Damn near every
I let them say it because when they get in the ring with Tank, they're gonna see their favorite fight.
Exactly. Every time.
Then like they're gonna find out that their favorite fighter or the fighter that they believe was gonna expose Tank can't handle him. You just can't handle him.
Look what happened to him laying on his back, looking up at the ceiling with his eyes
twitching. And you want to know what? Frank was fighting a wonderful fight up until that point.
Up until that point.
You. It's like certain people when they hit you, they take a whole lot of. It's like the video games. You remember playing like Street Fighter and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And one like Zangief hit you, a whole bunch of your bar go down. You can tap Zangief and only a little bit go down. Well, that's how Tank punches be affecting folk. A bunch of it, even if it's just one punch, it can be a jab, but a bunch of you come away from that jab like, damn, he took a lot of you with me on that jab.
And Frank, he ended the fight. Like I said, Frank was fighting good, and then that one little sequence ended the fight.
Exactly.
You know, ended
and
the
that's
entire fight.
Let them tell it that's luck, though.
No, like you say, nobody's that lucky, man.
Nobody is, and if so, I need to be around them because we can go play some damn lottery.
You get lucky and get a knockout 90% of the time. That's not luck.
That doesn't even make sense, don't it, Cass? No sense at all.
Not at all. Okay, T Hill. You got anything
all right, then.
Before we get off of here?
Oh, no, well, you know, always tune in every Monday through Friday at 2 o'clock for the 2 o'clock show to get the box story and putting in that great box story and lesson. You know, we always got.
I got some fighters tomorrow that's going to be some top contenders that never won a title. That should be interesting, you know. Al Booker gave me that idea,
Yeah, Al Booker, he's the man. Al Booker's the man. Yeah. And maybe we can get Al Booker to come up to the panel and talk about his experience at the actual place. Because I would love to get his take.
Before a while back, he gave me some ideas, but I forgot all about to drop the link yesterday. I was supposed to bring him up Monday. I forgot all about it.
Yeah. We can get him up tomorrow. Hopefully we can get him to speak on his experience about because he was actually there. He was there at the Riyadh season.
Tomorrow, you know, T Hill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we can get him up tomorrow.
I'm gonna hit him up and tell him, man, we want to get your experience with the Riyadh season affair.
Yeah.
What did he think about it?
Right. Because he was up close and personal with it.
Exactly.
You know. Yeah. But we're gonna get ready to go see what the Voice is doing over here now.
Alrighty then.
Melanin Queen says he paid everyone to come out of retirement for him. Okay, appreciate you, T. Hill. That was Thomas Hill from Casual's Corner. And we're going to get ready to put this one in the books. And just right at the beginning of another week of boxing history. Because you know, if it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Story. Thomas Hill, hashtag JBT, Melanin Queen 27, Just Do Boxing, Horry Faints, Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT, BBO Boxing TV, D for the Win, BN Boxing News, Mike Mazik, Mrs. Just Do is in the building today, Trump, Al Booger, and Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Okay. I will see everybody tomorrow when we talk about these top contenders who never got their titles. But right now, Just Do Boxing should be already in progress. This is Cass Sports. Everybody have a great day.